Nouns. In this chapter, we are studying about nouns. Some general rules for nouns are as follows. Rule 1. Some nouns always remain in plural form. They take plural verb. These nouns have no singular form. These are assets, arms, species, trousers, pants, clippers, bellows, gallows, fangs, measles, eyeglasses, longings, outskirts, riches, vegetables, wages, etc. Rule 2. Some nouns look plural in form but have singular meaning. Such nouns take singular verb. These are news, innings, politics, summons, physics, economics, ethics, mechanics, mathematics, measles, mumps, rickets, billiards, draughts, etc. Rule 3. Some nouns look singular but have plural meaning. Such nouns take plural verbs. These are cattle, clergy, cavalry, infantry, poultry, peasants, children, gentry, police, etc. Rule 4. Some nouns are always used in singular. These are uncountable nouns. We should not use article a or an with such nouns. These are scenery, poetry, furniture, advice, information, hair, language, business, mischief, bread, stationery, crockery, luggage, baggage, postage, knowledge, wastage, money, jewelry, breakage, etc. We cannot pluralize such nouns by adding s or es. For example, it is incorrect to write sentences like sceneries, informations, furnitures, hairs. Rule 5. Some nouns have the same form in singular as well as in plural. For example, deer, fish, crew, family, team, jury, carp, pike, trout, aircraft, council, swine, vermin, etc. Rule 6. Some nouns have plural meaning. If a definite numeral adjective is used before them, they are not pluralized. For example, pair, score, gross, stone, 100, dozen, thousand, million, billion, etc. Otherwise, these nouns can well be pluralized, like dozens of women, hundreds of people, millions of dollars, scores of shops, many pairs of shoes, thousands, millions, etc. Rule 7. If the same noun is repeated after preposition, the noun will be singular. For example, town after town was devastated. Row upon row of pink marble looks beautiful. Rule 8. If a numerical adjective and a fraction are used with a noun, the noun is used with the numeral and the noun will be in its singular form. For example, he gave me 1 rupee and a half. She gave me 2 rupees and a quarter. Avoid the following structures. He gave me 1.5 rupees. She gave me 2.25 rupees. That would be incorrect. Rule 9. Some nouns are known as common gender nouns. They can be used for either sex, male or female. These are called dual gender nouns. Such nouns are teacher, student, child, candidate, advocate, worker, writer, author, leader, musician, politician, enemy, client, president, person, neighbor, etc. When these are used in singular, use third person singular masculine pronoun with them. For example, every candidate should write his name. Every person should perform his duty. Rule 10. Some nouns are used for specifically feminine gender only. For example, blonde, maid, midwife, coquette, virgin, etc. Nowadays, nouns such as bachelor and virgin are being used for masculine as well as feminine genders. Use of apostrophe with an S. First, you can form the possessive case of a singular noun that does not end in S by adding an apostrophe followed by an S. We should use apostrophe in following situations only. A. Living things. For example, Mohan's book. B. A thing that's personified. For example, week's holiday. C. Space, time or weight. For example, a day's leave. D. Certain dignified objects. For example, the court's order. E. Familiar phrases. For example, at his wit's end. If there are hissing sounds ending a word, use an apostrophe without an S attached to it. With such word, for example, for Jesus' sake, for conscience sake, the rose's fragrance. It can be noted that if we use apostrophe with S with such words, it couldn't be pronounced well. Second, you can form the possessive case of a plural noun that does not end in S by adding an apostrophe and an S in the following example. The men's cricket team will play as soon as the women's team is finished. Third, you can form the possessive case of a plural noun that does end in S by adding an apostrophe. For example, the concert was interrupted by the dogs barking, the ducks quacking, and the babies squalling. Fourth, do not use apostrophe with possessive nouns. For example, his, her, yours, mine, ours, its, theirs, etc. For example, yours faithfully, yours truly, ours garden, his pen, her purse, theirs room. Fifth, use an apostrophe with the last word in the following titles. Example, Governor General's instructions, Commander-in-Chief's orders, my son-in-law's sister, Ram and Son's shop. Do not use a double apostrophe. Avoid double apostrophe in a sentence. For example, my wife's secretary's mother has expired. That would be incorrect. Instead, you could say, the mother of my wife's secretary has expired. Seventh, apostrophe with S is used. Anybody, nobody, everybody, somebody, anyone, someone, no one, everyone. For example, everyone's concern is no one's concern. If else is used after these words, use an apostrophe with else as follows. I can rely on your words, not somebody else's.